Did you already press it? Oh. No. All right, so the standard form of a quadratic, again, remember, is this, or a parabola. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. The axis of symmetry, remember, is that middle. So if I am going to go on my calculator, and like on this first problem, I would want to find, remember how we box in the middle and draw it in, you find that middle line. Again, you can do it that way, but you have to also be able to do it this way, by a formula. And there's very few formulas you need to know for this Regents exam. You will have this on your test. You have to know it. X equals negative b over 2a. It will, I can say, I am 99.9% sure this question will be on your Regents. It's on every one. It's usually on 1, 2, or 3 times in different ways. Okay? So you have to know that formula, x equals negative b over 2a. The vertex is, again, the same thing as, some of you don't remember this, that it's the turning point of the parabola. It's either a max or a min. Now the coordinates are this. You take this part, which is the axis of symmetry. So under here, I'm going to write negative b over 2a, comma y. The x, we plug in that negative b over 2a, whatever we get for x, plug it into our equation, and we'll be able to get the y part of our turning point. Okay? So it's really a two-step problem. If they ask you for axis of symmetry, most of the time they're going to ask you for vertex. Okay? So for each of these, we are going to do both axis of symmetry and vertex. So I'm going to kind of just put a little squiggly line down here and do axis of symmetry on this side, vertex on this side. Okay? Write down my formula for axis of symmetry. X equals negative b over 2a. And then we're just going to start plugging in numbers. In this equation up here, what is my b? It's either negative 1, 6, or negative 5. What is it? Six. Good. So I'm going to put a 6 up here. And 2, so this is my b, times my a. What's my a? It's either negative 1 or negative 5. Negative 1. And then when I divide that, I'm going to get 6 divided by negative 2, which is a negative, negative 3. Good. Oh, what did I do? Oh, yes, I forgot the negative here on the top. Sorry. So it's negative b, so it's negative 6 over 2 times negative 1. So now this is going to change to a positive 3. So now if I go and look, if I put this in my calculator, I should find the middle to be positive 3. Back in the old days, long time ago, probably about 10 years ago or more, before the graphic calculator, we used to have to do this this is how we used to have to make our tables. You had to make your tables all by yourself. You had to find your middle, and then you had to go 3 up and 3 down, right? So if I go and look at the calculator right now and I look at this table, 4, 5, 6 will be my pattern. If I go backwards, 2, 1, 0. So from 0 to 6, I should find my pattern in my y's. Okay, so let's go look at it. Let's try that. Let's plug it in our calculator. Y equals negative x squared plus 6x minus 5. Y equals, I want everyone to do it. Jack, get your calculator, Lex. Everybody make sure you have your calculator. I want everyone to plug it in. Jordan, you got your calculator? Negative x squared plus 6x minus 5. Negative x squared plus 6x minus 5. I'll give everyone a chance to plug that in. Yes, Jack, did you find it?
Yeah.
Was it It does. Okay, good. You got it plugged in there? Not on your phone, on your calculator. Come on. All right, let's go to the table. Second in table, and John said that I was right. He said that the pattern there was from 0 to 6. And look at, now it gives me my answer. Is it, what's the next question asking for my what? Vertex. My vertex should turn out to be 3, 4. So could I just say my vertex is 3, 4 and be done? No. They will not give you credit. That's a good way to check. I call it the cheater way. But you can check it that way. But you have to actually plug this 3 in for the letter x in this equation. So ready? Y equals, every time you plug in, you put it in parentheses. Negative 3 squared plus 6 times a negative 3 minus 5. So let's do this in our head. What's a negative 3 squared, everybody? Negative 3 times negative 3 is what? 9. What's 6 times negative 3? Negative 18 minus 5. Now let's subtract. 9 minus 18 is a negative 9. I'm off on this one. Let's see. Oh, no, it's a positive 9. Sorry. No, I was right. Negative 9.
Negative 9.
Hold on.
There's a negative in front of this x.
Yes. I keep forgetting that negative. There's a negative here.
And you should be plugging in a positive 3.
Yep, positive 3. Oh my gosh, so 6 times 3 is still going to be now a positive 18. This negative 9. Oops. Let me just erase a little bit of this here. So it was a positive 3 we had to plug in, and the negative sign was there out in front. So I have a negative 9 plus 18, which gives me a positive 9 here. 9 minus 5. We might as well just done it in our calculator. At least we would have been more accurate there. 9 minus 5 is 4. And that's what we got for our turning point, our vertex. You have to write it as a point. 3, 4. Okay? You cannot write x equals 3, y equals 4. Okay, now on the next one, you're like, oh my gosh, there's all that work. Let's just look at our calculator and let's find our middle first, right? Go ahead, let's do that. X squared minus 3x. Go to y equals. Clear it out. X squared minus 3x. Graph it. Okay, let's see if we can find our axis of symmetry and our turning point. If we look, there's our pattern, kind of our pattern. What happens is that, is there a middle here? No, there is no middle. The middle is going to be a what, do you think? It looks like the middle is going to be between which two numbers? 1 and 2. So let's kind of guesstimate what's halfway between 1 and 2. 1.5. So maybe our answer will be 1.5 here in the middle. Okay, we're gonna see what is the formula for the axis of symmetry again? So we're going to do axis of symmetry first. X equals negative b over 2a. You have to write your formula. Miles, what's my b here in this equation?
3.
Yeah, it's close. Negative 3.
Yeah.
So when I plug it in, I'm going to get a negative 3. So everybody see where I get the two negatives from? Over 2 times, what's the a, Aaron? Yeah.
1.
1, good. So what happens when you get a negative 3? It changes to a what? Positive 3. Over 2. Isn't 3 over 2 1.5? So we guessed right. You still have to show your work, though. There's no way to guess the other part. You actually have to plug it in. So for our vertex, we're going to plug this 1.5 in for the letter x here and in here. So y equals 1.5 squared minus 3 times 1.5. So instead of doing it in our head, let's plug it in our calculator. So Mrs. Renzo doesn't make a mistake again. Let's see. Parentheses 1.5 and parentheses squared minus 3 parentheses 1.5. And it was negative 2.25. Did everybody get that? Negative 2.25? Yes? Okay. Oop. So this is y equals negative 2. Was it negative or positive? Negative 2.25. So here, this would be negative 2.25. Let's look at our graph and see if that looks right. Yep. 1.5, negative 1, negative, it's a little bit more than 2, so negative 2.25. So you have to write the vertex as a point. 1.5, comma, negative 2.25, and label that the vertex. Okay. So everybody understand how to do this now? Okay. So now sometimes they already give you the axis of symmetry, like in number 2. They're saying the axis of symmetry is x equals negative 3. So if I wanted to make a little xy axis and go over to negative 3, that's what they're giving us. So I want to know what the turning point is, or the vertex. So I already know part of my vertex. Part of my vertex is, we know it's going to always turn on the axis of symmetry. It's going to be negative 3, comma something. So now I'm going to plug my negative 3 in for the letter x. So parentheses negative 3 squared plus 6 times the negative 3 plus 10. All right, what's negative 3 squared? What's negative 3 times negative 3? 9. 9 minus what's 6 times negative 3? Minus 18, kind of like another problem, plus 10. So 9 minus 18 is going to give you a negative 9. Negative 9 plus 10 is going to give you 1. Y equals 1. So our vertex is negative 3, 1. Can we check it? Yeah. Put this in our calculator, x squared plus 6x plus 10. Go to y equals. Clear it out. X squared plus 6x plus 10. Go to graph. Go to second in table. Find your middle. And our middle was negative 3, 1, and that's what we got. Does everybody see that on the table? Negative 3, 1 was our middle. Okay. Now, you can use the calculator, but like I said, if you rely solely on the calculator and don't know your formula, you're going to get many points off, not just one. That's a majority of the problem when they say do it algebraically. Now, this is a different equation, a different kind of problem. They give you the turning point or the vertex. Now they give you this equation, but something's missing in the equation. I'll rewrite the equation here. They give you the equation for the parabola to be y equals x squared minus 2x plus k. K is the number we're looking for. They're saying, what is the last number in that problem? Now, they gave you a point. They could give you any point. It didn't have to be the vertex. 1, negative 5. All I have to do is plug that 1 in for x, the negative 5 in for y, and that's how you solve for k. Okay? So y equals negative 5. Plug a 1 in for the letter x. 1 squared minus 2 times 1. So negative 5. What's 1 squared, everybody? 1. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2 plus k. I'm going to finish it over here. What's the next step? What am I going to combine? The like terms, the 1 and the negative 2. So now my equation is going to be negative 5 equals, what's 1 minus 2? Negative 1 plus k. Now how do I solve for k? What am I going to add to both sides? 1. Add your 1 over to both sides. And you're going to get k equals negative 5 plus 1 is going to give me a negative 4. Now I could now then plug this into the calculator to see if that is my turning point, to see if I got it right. It will be. This is an extremely important problem. You have to know your axis symmetry formula.